Hey, while you're down at the fish markets, can you grab me a whole Hiramasa kingfish? Obviously, something that's pleasing to the eye, nice and firm, got some bright eyes. Look forward to seeing you soon. Cheers, bye.
Before most of the city is even awake, the Sydney Fish Market is already in motion. It's one of the largest seafood markets in the world, supplying some of the best restaurants in Australia. And today, I'm here to pick up a Hiramasa kingfish for a lesson with a chef who knows exactly what to do with it. Every great dish begins long before it reaches the plate. It starts with the right ingredients: fresh, carefully chosen, and straight from the source. And it doesn't get better than this. Fresh off the boat, the way it's meant to be.
Chip. Okay, we got the chip.
This is where we're headed, Boronia Kitchen. A place that feels like home, but it serves up the kind of food you'd expect from one of Sydney's best chefs. And that chef is Simon Sandall. Simon spent over a decade as the head chef at Aria, one of Sydney's most celebrated restaurants. But when he started Boronia Kitchen, he wanted something a little different. An open, welcoming space where great food is built on simplicity, balance, and the best ingredients.
Hey, Simon here.
Hello. Hey. How are you? Good to see you.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
Before we get to the kitchen, Simon takes me to his happy place, the garden. This is where his dishes start, with fresh herbs and ingredients that bring every plate to life.
Alrighty, so yeah, look, I mean, everything I plant, we try and plant to eat. There's succulents all in here. These are all cacalia. You can eat all this. This goes really well with seafood. This is all warrigal greens, which is a New Zealand spinach. I actually planted this from a little succulent like that, right this here, and it's just gone wild. And then the garden's looking amazing. This is all wild honey, wild honeybees. So these are native honeybees. And the actual honey is really quite unique. You get all these citrus sort of lemongrass flavor profile. This is actually quite herbal. You can steep this in tea. This is actually, it's quite medicinal. And we put that into like chicken stocks and stuff. And then here, this is where I'll plant and start a lot of the seedlings. So this is under light 24 hours a day, and then water filters in at certain times, and it just grows super quick. But yeah, no, this is my happy place.
All right, so walk us through what we're doing today.
Okay, so we've got this amazing Hiramasa kingfish that you picked up from the Sydney Fish Market.
You're welcome.
You've done a great job there. We're basically just gonna cut off a nice piece here. And look, sometimes I think we can get a little bit overcomplicated with seafood, whereas I just like to keep things as simple as possible. And we're gonna create a nice little tartare of the fish, and we're just going to dice it all up.
So the difference between this and a regular tuna tartare, is it just a lighter fish? How is it different in taste?
This is a little bit more fattier than tuna. Well, it depends. I mean, yellowfin tuna can be a little bit leaner. If you get the bluefin tuna, that's a whole lot more. That's a different kettle of fish altogether. Bluefin tends to be a lot more fattier.
So it's texture.
Yes, absolutely. And what we want to do is just cut some beautiful little dice. We don't want it to have it too big, but at the same time we don't want it too small, because you want to get that texture, nice mouthfeel when you're eating it.
And so why did you choose this dish over any other? Is it because it's easier for anybody to make at home, or is it?
Yeah, look, I think, showing people the simple stuff that you can do. you know, without it being too complicated. I think this day and age, people are very health conscious. When you've got great seafood, like I say, I just don't think you should do too much with it. The more simple it is, the better for me. And plus the fact it's one of my favourites. So basically what I've got here, this is a tapioca crisp. And what we've done is got some tapioca, we've cooked it, we've washed off all the starch, we've then cooked it in some water with some squid ink. Once you've done that, we spread it out onto some greaseproof paper and put it in a dehydrator, and you end up with this amazing crisp. But to eat it like that would just be impossible. It would cut your mouth and it would be too hard. But when you fry it, you get this amazing pops of pearls, and you can see this has been cooked to perfection. Once you've got that with the beautiful kingfish, eating it all together, it's just, you know, it's a party in your mouth and everyone's invited, as I say.
Gotcha.
So basically what we've got here, we've got the amazing kingfish. To that we're going to add some chopped red onion. So we're going to put about a tablespoon in there. We're going to put some chopped gherkins, and these have been lightly pickled. And this just adds a really nice acidic flavour profile to it. We're going to put some pickled capers in there. Now, I use lemon oil on everything. Lemon oil for me adds, and especially with fish, adds this amazing umami. So probably about a tablespoon of lemon oil. We're going to add some pepper, bit of salt, and you just want to give that a really good mix together.
How long does it take you to develop a recipe like this, or is it just in the back of your mind since you were in
Do you know what people ask that question all the time? It's you don't just sit down and develop a recipe. Sometimes they'll come to you in an instant, but it's a constant evolution. So I'm just going to put a squeeze of lemon in there, and if you get any seeds in there, just take them out. Yeah, look, it is a constant evolution. I can be driving down the road and see something on the side of the road, and it will just inspire me to come up with some stuff. You know, occasionally what happens, someone will make a mistake, and you'll get an idea from a mistake that someone's made. It's really quite an interesting process. Actually, I might just have a quick taste of that. Do you want to have a quick taste?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Acidic. It's all that different texture, the balance, the saltiness.
Everything blends so well.
Yeah.
Wow.
Start presenting.
And that took you no less than 5 minutes to make.
I know. I mean, look, there's a little bit of prep behind the scenes, but you know, these are the simple things that people can do at home. That if you know, cooking at home is all about preparation. And then what I've got here is an avocado mousse. Basically what I want to try and do here is get this nice little rocher, pop that on top like that. I'm just going to try and get like a little swirl like so, and then we're going to pull this out like so. So these are the society garlic flowers that I showed you in the garden. These will also add a lot of value. These are little baby nasturtiums. So I'll put these on. So then what we're going to do is we're going to crack off one of these beautiful crackers.
Unbelievable. That might be the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Okay, here we have finished product. Look at that.
I mean, it's truly a work of art. All right, let's go.
Beautiful.
Cheers.
Good. Really good.
This is incredible. This is such a talent.
Glad you're enjoying it.
You went to school for this, did you not?
I did, yeah.
Where did you go to school?
I went to school in Stratford-upon-Avon back in the UK.
Okay.
So I did 3 years at college. I needed to do something with my life, and I ended up at cooking school because you actually didn't need any qualifications, but I'd sort of always enjoyed that food side of things. It's quite an interesting story because there was 4 classes of about 30 kids at college. I was pretty much bottom of the 4 classes. I ended up 3rd in the year, and I am the only person to this day that is in the industry from the 4 lots of classes. Everyone else dropped out of cooking school.
Wow.
So, and here I am now. It's taken me halfway around the world, and I've been in Australia for the last 30 years. So.
But you always had a love of cooking?
Always.
Yeah.
You know, from an early age, I used to watch my late father. My dad used to cook, and he was one of them cooks that just went to the cupboard and threw everything in the pot. So yeah, I learned a lot of my cooking from my father.
Wow.
And just not having a great deal of money when we were growing up, you know what I mean? So that's where the love came from. And even a lot of my cooking today is all about, I mean, you saw when I put this together, there was no real measurements. It's just throw it all together, you know, gut feeling, season it nicely, and let the rest do itself, you know.
Yeah. So you do a lot of recipes based around chicken specifically?
Chicken will always be on the menu, and then we do sort of simple salads for lunch. We have a salad in the salad display, but just constantly coming up with new ideas and you know, new recipes. Yeah.
Who's your biggest inspiration? Would you say your father?
Look, definitely initially my father was my inspiration.
Is he still alive?
No, he passed away.
Well, here's a question for you.
Yep.
If you could cook for anyone dead or alive, and you could cook them anything, what would you make? And for who?
I've actually cooked for a lot of people. I've cooked for 25 world leaders at APAC at the Sydney Opera House.
Incredible.
I've cooked for kings, queens.
Who have you not cooked for?
Do you know what? Who I'd like to cook for is my father. He'd probably want me to cook I reckon a nice rib of beef, yeah, with some roast potatoes and a nice bit of jus gras.
You can't go wrong with that.
Yeah. He passed away probably about 29 years ago, so before I came to Australia.
I think he'd be proud.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so. I hope so. I'm a firm believer that consistency in product is paramount to any business. I believe that you're only as good as the last dish you put out. So that last dish has got to be as good as the first dish. We don't always get it right. You know, we're in the food game. You know, and we serve, you know, thousands of people a week. You know, so you're going to get little hiccups. You know what I mean? But you know, it's how you fix it. You know what I mean?
Have you ever felt like quitting at all?
Yeah, I love this industry.
Yeah.
And you know, I often say if I won the lottery tomorrow, yeah, of course I would have fun, but I'd still work. I'm pretty much up at 10 to 5 every morning, and I'm in work by 7 o'clock every day.
And you love it.
I love it. Yeah, I do love it. And do you know what? If you don't love it, don't get into it.
Yeah.
A lot of people go into this game that are very, very capable of cooking, but they don't understand numbers. And unfortunately, even more so now, the numbers in this game matter more than anything.
Yeah. Well, I can imagine it matters who you bring on board. Having a partner and having somebody in the back who can help you run and manage it.
Your team
just as important.
is
if not
everything.
More important.
Oh, it's everything. I'll be very honest, I have a zero policy to dickheads in my life, and even more so in my business, because it's hard enough as it is. So I want people to be happy. You know, culture is massive. I won't lie, I used to be ruthless, you know, when I was younger, and I'm not proud of the way I was when I was younger. I was angry. You know, I broke my hand getting angry at the Opera House by smacking a table. That was actually a bit of a pinnacle point, changing my ways. Let's have fun doing it instead of being that angry person.
There's a certain energy to the way that Simon approaches food. It's not his technique or his presentation that stands out. It's his respect for the craft. He sees cooking more as a way to connect with people and to share something meaningful. And even in just a few short hours with him, it was so clear that when we move with this level of passion and intention, whether it be in the kitchen or in life, it shapes more than just the outcome. It deepens our connection to what we do and to those around us, and ultimately, to ourselves.
I broke down about 8 weeks ago on Mount Victoria.
Oh, no.
And had to get it towed off the mountain. It went into Jeep customer care. I got a phone call from Narellan Police telling me that it's been used in an armed robbery. While it was in Jeep Parramatta, someone stole the plates, put it onto another ute, did a ram raid robbery, and then put the plates back. I know, it's bizarre. It's bizarre. Who would have thought?
Brilliant.
I know.